Hello, welcome back to the HGC Korea. The HGC, if I were Claris, I'd say it like that, but I'm not, so I say H. He says H. G-Club says H.
H.
There you go. 2-1 Claris, what's up? I'm like, I think J-House is H. I think Gilly says H. I think Dreadnought says H. I think Calder says H. I think Trixler says H. Maybe Skimmy says H, but he says Z, so what are you going to do? We're back here. Supernova dominating 2-0. No.
Thanks.
So anyway, Supernova dominating with a 2-0. We've had a lot of open division teams come through in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We had Raven, who made it through qualifiers and last seed, who ended up looking pretty poor in Season 1 of 2017, 2018. We had Feliz and Gluck come through. We had RRR seeded through after the disband. Did not go well. So we've had a lot of teams come into the league, Feliz included, who just was defeated now, or lost 2 maps, 2-0. Very expected to lose now 3-0 based on how the games are going. We've had all these teams come in ace and fail to produce results of any merit, and failed to show good macro games for the most part. However, this team that we've seen just 2 games of so far looks quality.
They are the Supernova. They're going to be the meteors of new star just rising up to the earth and just coming into HGC Korea for now. And up against Feliz, so it is not too bad. And looking at their tempo, they're actually moving as in macro speed of at least Tempest level, or at least Blossom level in play. So not just this match, upcoming match, they're actually going up against very strong teams very soon. So it'll be very interesting to watch how well they can actually do compared to all the stronger teams like Gen G, Ballistics, who's actually on a downhill a little bit. Tempest, who is very strong at the moment with the macro and the team fight. We'll get to see that all in HGC Korea, so keep tuning in.
Feels like it's just really strong shot calling. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it's quick all the time.
Focusing on OJ in that last fight, especially, or in that last game, all the fights, just kind of eliminating him early, getting him out of a position, using the teleport coming through very quickly from Brightwing's phase shifts up. They get the polymorph, then they get the stun, and Stitch is just helpless. Just identifying this weakness in the draft, punishing it super hard, was what they were able to do. And so they've shown us good macro in terms of avoiding team fighting, like on Dragonshire, picked the curse, took the fight to them using an initiation from Brightwing. Brightwing was basically the initiator, teleports in, polys, and then the CCs come through. So Alex has been impressive on 2 different supports. The Deckard he used to heal through the Zeratul damage was insanely impressive. I mean, when you look at these 2 teams right now, it's tough to predict that this is going to be a 5-game series that swings back in the other way.
It is really tough unless they have some weird map choice and then they struggle to macro somehow. But for now, after watching the first 2 games, I don't think that's happening anymore. But they did get some break for Feliz. They seemed very frustrated, and even Hanatan did meet Kirisaku, the top laners for those teams. They were saying, stop doing all those damage to me. I mean, I'm having a tough time, man. And Kirisaku just said, it's game, man. It's gotta happen. It's down to earth, and we're going into Shrines.
So these are the 3 maps we were talking about, right? Like, outside of Towers of Doom, we did mention, like, these are the maps you want to go to if you think you're the better team in terms of rotational play and objective play. And Supernova's been winning in those regards. They lost the 1 Dragon Knight due to a mistake from No Chat in Game 1. But they were able to win with their Dragon Knight. And they were able to grab the curse, boss control, objective control, using globals. Has been the way that Supernova has played through this.
And I was actually thinking maybe after the MSV, Korean teams may not favor the first pick as much. Maybe we'll just go for the map control and just plan out with the second pick what they like to do. And have that all planned and choose the map instead. But for now, it is continuing. Just Koreans love to having first pick after the loss.
Well, Furion is so powerful, and I think he's the reason why that's going to be the case for a while. Once we have the 2 bans, so the way the 3 bans will be implemented, which will be a few weeks from now, as well. Sonya jumps in, new challenger approaches. The way that the 3 bans, which will be 6 bans, so will be done is there'll be 2 bans like this in the first phase, and then there will be a third ban in the middle, just like we have now. So when that happens, I think the map versatility could become a little bit higher. We could see some teams preferring the map pick, but with how strong Malfurion is right now and how these meta heroes are so high in priority, especially because you can never give a Malfurion to Garrosh, like never, ever. You know, you're going to be seeing the Blaze in the first rotation as much as you can. You're going to see this Malfurion up here. And so I think that's why Feliz has done this, but it's not working well.
Yeah, so far, and the reason why they picked Sonya, not just because it's shrines. Hamilton loves to play Sonya on this map. Sealing that wave, just making sure they have Blaze, and that is the only tool. Maybe with Hanzo, they can have some long-range damage, but they're gonna lack that melee damage when the burst needed. They're not gonna have it unless Hanzo just pinpoints in the one skill shot for one target on everything, which happens very rarely.
I don't think this Jaina ban is correct. You've already chosen Blaze. Sure, you have slow sustain healing, and you have a squishy DPS, so you're scared of burst. But you already have the ability to use bunker to control fights. It's a very controlled objective where you have to fight over one zone, so you have the ability to use Blaze there. And
there's the Alex Straza from Alex.
Yep, there's the Alex Straza from which his name comes. His Korean ID was Dragon Mother, and of course he's changed it, of course, to Alex in English. But they have been prioritizing Phoenix and sustained damage every single game. Never have they ever gone burst. So to ban the Jaina here, I think is a fundamental misunderstanding of Supernova's approach to this series and how much focus they put on macro, avoiding burst damage, avoiding straight up fights, and looking for longer fights that go in their favor. Sure, we saw them get the picks on Stitches, but that was on the onus was on Supernova for that because Feliz's draft. But in this case, the Jaina ban feels weak here. I would have much preferred a Phoenix ban against the bunker they already have.
I think it was a hint that when they banned the Tracer, they were thinking that, oh, Supernova is very likely to pick up a Mage. That's why they banned the Tracer, because Mages are very weak against the Tracers. All the blinks, it's hard to hit the skill shots, and in comparison, Tracer will actually do so much more. So, hinting that they're going to pick a Mage, and so far they are not, and they're not going to.
Tychus coming through here, and Sustain is the name of the game. Diablo as well. It's the same reworked Urel Diablo, but not the, sorry, not reworked. Original Urel reworked Diablo, not the reworked Urel updated Diablo.
What are you saying?
There's 2 Urel patches.
Oh yes, I know.
I mean, come on, G-Club, keep up with the patch notes.
34.1, I do know. It's actually 2 with the hotfix.
Yeah, so Diablo gets a little bit of changes in the hotfix patch, but we're not playing with that one. Same Diablo as Midseason Brawl. We're looking for a secondary DPS here for Supernova, and Li Ming. Oh, okay.
Zarya! And No Chat is the one very likely to play that Zarya,
Definitely.
who's been known to play that Zarya ever since he debuted with Sprint Mixtape. That's a long time ago, boys.
We have a lot of questions. Can, you know, Garrosh basically becomes invincible in this composition. Can Sonya do enough damage? Can she get into the backline with all the stuns on the other side? Like, Hanaten and OJ are going to make it very difficult for Sonya, even with protection, even with the bubble, the shielding, to come through. The Zarya bubble doesn't work in this game like it does in Overwatch. It's just very purely a shield. It's not going to protect you against being tossed around. The big questions is, you know, is Phoenix going to be able to do enough damage? Can Sonya get in the front line? And the next big question is, will on this patch, in the Observer mode, Alex Strauss's face be scrunched or normal? Because we don't know. No, still scrunched! Oh! I was hoping so hard she was not going to be scrunched, but she's scrunched.
She looks like a dumpling.
That was the second big question I had. Look how she looks at the bottom portrait. Look how she looks at the top portrait. And you think, okay, like, you know, you look better in person than you do in your profile picture.
Which is rare. Which is very rare. But the Supernova does have a very good theme on this map. Go for the shrine, win the shrine with Sonya, with Zarya, has to sustain. With the Dragon Queen, that's the time you actually need to fight. Please, they can't really come in, and OJ will actually die to all the damage. The burst, that sustain that actually Zarya can do against Diablo, that's going to be huge of a problem for OJ again.
Yeah, it's also a point to note that in terms of wave clear, Zarya and Coke can push really hard with the 4-man, but they're always going to be under threat of Diablo, which is whether Zarya picks a little bit puzzling. because it was picked after Diablo, of course. Because if you want to push hard in this format, as you can see they're doing right now, because they have the Phoenix, they have the Zarya, and this is just going to shove. They have Garrosh to somewhat try to protect against the Diablo, you know, dive in. But they have to be careful, because Diablo can really ruin this. If you dive in hard and you get tossed into cannon towers after your minions are gone, you need to be careful. It's not the greatest composition for them to really dive heavily. They know Aimer's missing, so Kurisaku,
Oh, look at that.
gonna dance. Saying like, yeah.
I know you're there.
Yeah.
I know you're somewhere around here, so I'm not going any further from I'm not stepping over this line. And just understanding what's happening. Just an individual thing, or it may just be the shot calling from the entire team.
So, you see the camp taken first for Supernova. Feliz taking theirs at a more apt time. Trade-off is that they lose the neutral camp, so now Impaler's mid, Impaler's bottom. I'm not going to call this a Khazra camp ever. I don't know why like suddenly the other casts start calling it a Khazra camp. Like, it's been called Impalers or Goatmen forever.
Goatmen is the way.
Artos and I coined it that a long time ago. We don't use it that much anymore, but occasionally we refer to them as Goatmen.
Goatmen, pumpkin men. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Heroes Common Sense 101.
It's obvious. Common sense indeed. Well, double camps, as you know, as you were saying, pushing mid and bottom, as Feliz shows some respect to the Zarya pick. It's going to be the redemption at 1 for Hanzo, the arrow at 4, so very safe build. You don't really need the scatter build on this map. If you're picking it, you're just kind of like autopiloting. I think it's very clear this is the superior build for this map, in my opinion. And clearly there's an agreement on the side of Feliz. I'm going to grab this camp, heal up, and head back mid for the first shrine. This dude is going to clear this camp with his new level 4. How...
Ooh, actually,
go ahead.
Alex tried to go for a sweet movement. I thought she was just going for the abundance talents all over. That's not really the most common thing, but after watching all the... There's lack of dive potential. That's a big stun that could continue, but lack of damage again.
Huge stun. The 30% healing reduction gonna actually not be well timed here. The healing gonna go off for Alex either way. And Feliz is engaged, gets totally stomped. No Chat's got massive energy now and an old comfort pick. Now they can use the Dragon Queen to just finish this off. Usually, as the Alexstrasza comp, you have to have positional advantage to make this work. They didn't, and still, we're able to win the trades. Now they get to go on Aimer, and this fight is over. Haven's not scared of anything. He's got 30 armor. Hanatan's going to be the next to fall. Bye-bye. Well, they're going to take one with them, at least.
Ooh. And Heavy mate!
That was a bit overzealous.
Let's go down on long. Saw some great plays from Alexstrasza, actually tossing away Blaze away from the fight, make sure he does not have enough range to jump promotion and for an extra bit of stun again.
They want to try to fight this. No Chat's got full energy. This is suicidal. If they commit further, the Punisher will spawn and kill them. Very, very risky plays here by Feliz, excuse me. I feel like Feliz has played a little bit nervous after game 1, and I don't blame them. You know, you're playing against a rookie team. You're the more experienced squad. You had a rough Phase 1, Phase 2, you're already starting off with a bad notes. Can be souring. Aimer barely avoids that root from the ice.
Even just there's 3-man Heavy now joins
no
the
chat.
fight with the 4-man.
Full energy, does so much damage.
OJ! Let's go down with the Diablo. You think you can survive with some of the souls, but not anymore. With all the punches from the Frozen Punisher along with all the damage. I mean, Zarya even went for the basic attack build.
Yep. It's you have to, I think, with this comp. You're basically just trying to ball up on healing zones. And you're going to stand in one place, you're going to overlap, you're going to get... Zarya is going to be getting shields for herself and for an ally, usually Sonya in most cases, sometimes the Garrosh. You get massive value out of the auto attack build. Well, what I just mentioned, though, is standing all in the same place in the same area. APOC, you know, if you're all kind of bunched up like that, can be difficult to avoid. So, something to consider. Also, Lightning Breath can be quite strong against that, too. So, both of Diablo's potential heroics here, which I think it probably will end up being the Lightning Breath, can force you to reposition. And No Chat just continue to maintain massive amounts of energy. Now they've got this 4-man push that's just so difficult to deal with. Kirisaku did so much in the top lane during all of that, so they're going to have 10 first for this next shrine. And Feliz is just going to have to play passively. I mean, there's nothing they can do. They can't invade. They don't have a winning matchup in the Soul lane. That's where the Sonya pick comes in. It just all works out. You know, like, Supernova is in full control of this game. I don't know what else to say.
It's really hard for Feliz because it's possible they can just focus on Alexstrasza and maybe Phoenix sometimes. Phoenix does have an escape. And you don't really want to focus on Sonya too much. It's going to be really hard to bring her down just by focusing on her. Because there's Zarya on that team, you will have that shield available to bubble to protect your teammate. Even for Alexstrasza, she can just, after 10, just fly in the air, make sure you escape from that team fight as well. For Feliz, who do you really target down and focus? I guess Garrosh is the only one, but do you really want to focus Garrosh?
I mean, they've been trying, right? That's been their main target, but he's normally... It's been either Garrosh or it's been Bentham here on the Phoenix, but Phoenix has a great escape. They need to be able to root him to prevent that. Okay, let's see if they can do it this time. Okay,
to the bubble.
To the root, but he gets the bubble, and they actually even committed to the expulsion zone there. But the bubble came through. Bentham was actually totally fine, even though the root was there after the toss. Did not work out. There's the Lightning Breath lock-in. By the way, I want to point out both supports in the portraits at the top are the only heroes that are willing to show their chin in the portrait. Look at that. Only Alexstrasza and Malfurion are willing to show their chin. Every other hero is hiding the chin. Let's investigate this further throughout tonight's matches.
Oh yes.
Only Alexstrasza and Malfurion, they're like, I'm a support, you can see my chin. Everyone else hiding the chin.
That's the story that you can only hear from Korea.
That's right. I have the info for you guys. I have the stats. Supports only, showing the chins. Let's continue to watch this. So, all right, positional advantage. We talked about this before. To the Alexstrasza team, that means the Dragon Queen is going to be so much more effective. Already almost another salvo available. 15 seconds to go. Feliz needs a hard engage. They need to get a pick, or they are going to lose this. OJ looking for the side angle here onto Bentham. Haven blocks him out though. Oh man, this fight's already over.
Let's get all the shields out, but until that Dragon Queen's out of there, Odin, find some time, making sure they have some lumber. Difference 20 still on their hand, the second bubble.
Okay, they're committing in here.
So look at that. Already gone with the Cleansing Flame.
Diablo just immediately focused down. He made himself a target with that Lightning Breath, not in his bunker. He wasn't able to get into it, but he's immobile in the Lightning Breath. And now this fight is just, like I said, it was already over before it began. Great understanding of how to utilize this Alexstrasza comp with the Zarya. This is just a beautiful thing. Supernova's shown us 3 different colors tonight. I can't imagine any world Feliz bounces back now. This is just fantastic play. Very, very impressive stuff. Unique playstyle. Haven's shown us some great Garrosh. He's interrupted a lot of what Feliz has tried to set up. And it feels like Feliz just has no direction in some of these moments where Supernova has a clear plan and Feliz is like, well, we just tried to draft meta.
Oh yes, exactly. OJ just diving in alone is not going to solve the problem. Alex just understanding the heroes so well, escaping from any danger possible. First one, the bubbles, they know exactly so they don't escape, they actually take damage instead. To charge up the Zarya's energy just like that, and they just continue to roll. Right after that, they have all the escape for themselves. Phoenix has the warp, Alexstrasza Cleansing Flame right after. Sonya gets to stay for a long, long time. I mean, how can you destroy this team? I think you really have to wait for the bubble, create perfect opportunity.
Remember, guys, this is a team that, you know, won Open Division barely, the 4-3 score. Feliz defeated, you know, to stay in the tournament, their opponents as well. They barely stayed in. The Crucible was a fairly close, you know, 4-2 match for them. So it wasn't a one-sided one by any means. This is not a team that came out of Open Division where everyone said, this is the team to watch. They have made massive improvements since then. Dudu caught, very likely dead. Taunted, Lightning Breath here. Just gonna tickle as we see Alexstrasza pop her heroic to continue to do damage and prevent mounting here. OJ slowed by the Q. We'll have the bunker to escape. Oh, caught by the groundbreaker, tossed in, never mind.
Diablo escaping in the bunker and getting caught?
Feliz was just an appetizer for this team that we now know to fear. It will be tested again multiple times throughout this season. We'll find out where the strength really lies. Feliz may be the weakest opponent they would face in this tournament. We said if they lost here, it would be demotivating to prepare so hard for this first match and lose. But they prepared well. They came with executed strategies. Very different styles from each map. So it's difficult to prepare against them. Supernova looks in prime form, but we have to see how they do against stronger teams. If they can continue this performance, I'm gonna get hyped.
And it seems like Phoenix is actually a really big key for the team. And not just no chat zero pull. Looking at 3 levels away, hold on to that. Feliz trying something with the taunt on the Diablo. This could be a chance. Lots of burst damage from Feliz, surviving with the bunker for now, but no escape.
Look at that expulsion. So good. So good. No chat, setting up the plays.
They're gone.
Dudu gets over the wall, but will he escape? I think the answer may be no, if they can cut him off.
Oh man,
Haven's
look for your life. Look for your life,
Haven. Haven's coming. Toss the minion. Gets the grab breaker. He's dead. He is dead. Diggity dead. Hanaten.
Oh man, he's lost. Just for the slow. What's the horde? What's the oh, hard thing back home. Oh,
delaying his own death timer at this point for the shrine. He wanted to die faster. He's not going to be up for the shrine now. Rough times, man. We talked about Supernova having positional advantage and how they were able to run away with it in that last fight in the top shrine. I think everyone is alive for Feliz. Taking the camp as Kirisaku is soloing the shrine. They're prepping the top wave to try to get the keep there while they get the bottom keep. Or sorry, the mid keep, the one where the Punisher is going to go. It's an Arcane Punisher. And Feliz has just got Dudu split bot. There's no way to engage 3 levels down, no 16 talent. You have to hope for the miracle defense. And that has to come from a really brilliant engage from the Diablo, but with the Zarya pick that's worked so well here, you know, I questioned it at first, you know, what will they be able to do with all this shielding? The auto attack build gets chosen for no chat. I should have never doubted the Zarya. He is looking so good on it.
Supernova actually looks like Wakanda, having layers of shields after one another. And Feliz cannot just destroy, they have to break through. But there's just no opening for them to go in.
Oh, now they're going to have so much trouble. 4-level lead. We are watching this happen. Supernova dominating this first series. All they have to do is walk across the finish line. And they're starting to approach it. Heals coming through here. They're on the core. Kirisaku going to do massive damage. There's the double stun. Haven still holding on to the taunt. He hasn't even used it yet. Going to eat the heal here. Salvo comes down. Core's going down. Will anyone die here on the side of Supernova? They will lose Haven, but it's over.
Alex just froze them, and they're going to take 3-0. First ever series win in HGC Korea on their first match, opening day.
Absolutely unexpected. You know, you can see Haven, who's had a phenomenal performance on the garage tonight, is a little bit overwhelmed by the victory. But what a series. I mean, 3 different styles. Double global game 1. Game 2, the Punish global with the Brightwing. Game 3, the Alexstrasza we knew they could run. 3 different map picks. They played the entire series without a single first pick. It was maps alone. They walk over. Both these teams jerseyless, remember. They're the open division teams trying to find sponsors, trying to make their way in HGC. Feliz narrowly escaped relegation. But from what we could see from this team on day 1, if they could prove themselves against a stronger team, if they could keep this composure, I don't think they'll find themselves sponsorless for long. Alexstrasza healing nearly double of what Leguio is able to output on the Malfurion. 58k.
I think Feliz after tonight's match, they really have to collect how they want to team fight, when they want to make an engage, and which target they will actually want to focus, and have a second thought. Is it really going to work? Because when they're trying to have something in, it seems like they only had one step in thinking, oh, this should work. It should work because we want to focus on this target. But you have to think about all the defense onto the other side. Maybe wait for the skill to be out and then look for the cooldown timing. Exactly. Wait for that moment and then dive in along together and maybe have a bunker for yourself to actually provide an escape for your teammate, not just for yourself. I think a lot of the things for Feliz, what they were trying to do, did not work out. They have to really line everyone up, and then ask, what do you want to do? How do you want to approach this? Have really collective thoughts onto the proceedings of the chart. And I think unless they really have that time to actually collect themselves, I don't think they can compete too well against even Good Luck. I think they will be having a hard time.
They will struggle. The Collects roster looks good. Blossom obviously refreshed. So it's not going to be an easy season. Miracle's roster as well is the one that everyone's saying is the scary one. But I mean, I think we walk away with 3 questions. One is going to be, you know, in terms of how does Supernova match up against stronger teams? Will they be able to continue to show diversity of strategy, because they showed us really map-specific strategies that are not like, it's not like no one's ever seen these before. They're actually quite common for these maps.
It is unlike Korea, though.
Yeah, very unlike Korea. Very much like the West and China a little bit. So they show some map-specific strategies. So will they be able to continue to show diversity? Will they be able to play a more standard draft when, you know, the bans come through of like Alex Strauss, so they can't run a draft like this anymore? And I think the third question is, when does Alex Strauss's portrait stop being scrunchy?
And number 4, are we going to see the chins from the sports only?
That's a question. That's a question we have to keep track of. Yeah. That's the 4th question. It's a very important one. If you notice, also, all 3 of the Dragon, the Raven Lord, and the Punisher have their chins hidden in portrait on the map.
Really?
Yeah. Notice. Look at it.
Ooh. But isn't it the cover from the blue and the map names covering all the image?
I mean, I'm just saying their chins are not visible.
Supernova, in terms of their look.
I'm trying to adapt. I'm a little bit worried. Should I not be showing? I'm not a support.
I'm a little bit worried about you, Wolf. What's happening today? What did you eat this morning, man?
I didn't have anything this morning.
Okay,
I got food with you right before the broadcast,
that's
though.
Why.
All right, just trying to keep it safe. Like, I don't know if chins are okay. Oh, don't worry, I'm still covered. I'm pretty hyped about Supernova, though. I actually came in with, if I'm honest with you guys, I came in with low expectations. We've had, Open Division has always been kind of a pool of somewhat weaker players comparatively to the pro scene. There's always been like a huge line that you could draw.
Oh, yes. After top 3.
And only teams like Ace and Raven, who really just failed to perform, ever really got relegated. So it's like, oh man, this is refreshing. This is a new, strong team.
I know. Even Blossom, who will be contesting against Gen G, they're looking to go into that top 3. And from what I've been hearing, the rumors are they're winning all the scrims, just except for Gen G. But even against Tempest, even against Ballistics. So who knows what's going to happen? Even Supernova challenging into top 4, surpassing Miracle for the first time. Of course, they're here for the first time, but still, as a new team, that never happened in Korea.
Yeah. If you want to watch some of these replays, this is the Alex show on the Dahaka. I hope we get to watch the full one where he actually saves this fight. Watch what happens here with No Chat's positioning. He does massive amounts of damage. Again, another ceiling comes down. And then watch Alex. He just constantly stays alive through potions. He's being hit, but he's got his passive 10 armor. Just keeps dropping potions while doing damage, tossing out a Herodric Cube and another scroll of sealing. Oh! The guy is a god of Dahaka. Or sorry, I said it again, Deckard Cain. Oh, well, there you go.
Kirisaku was also pretty good with the burrows. Just getting all this looked like a desperation.
Oh, this was bad.
This is my clip moment, guys. Oh, but where's the help? Like, where's my team?
Jaina is like, Judo comes in with like, he's like, oh, I gotta get there faster, so let's throw out Water Elemental even, like, maybe that'll get me there. Like, no, this was a really big mistake by Feliz, and just, I think any Open Division team probably would have won on that fight. That was just not a good setup. They were desperate.
Look at Alex. Goes in, planting flame. What are you doing
there,
OJ?
Now. He's stuck. He can't do anything. Expulsion Zone comes out as well to make sure that even if he cancels, he gets no value. Hinatan's bunker is like, oh man, I guess I couldn't get
And
in.
even look at that positioning from Alex.
Yep,
he
comes
knows that
in.
he's going to be safe with the bubble again, and he actually pushes in.
Really, really impressive play. We're gonna have an interview with our new interview host. G-Club's gonna translate.
Oh yes.
It's no chat.
이 경기장의 유일한 신입 리포터 서지우 양이 인터뷰하는 경력직 신입 노채 선수 시작하도록 하겠습니다.
I don't know why her hand is covered, but
일단 축하드려요.
It's kinda weird.
Her chin's there, so I'm fine with it.
아, 감사합니다.
congrats, No Chat, for your first win.
페이지 1에서 유일하게 올라온 승강전 팀으로 굉장히 명성이 자자합니다.
Quite
소감이
popular.
어떠신지?
And how does it feel right now?
저희가 이길 줄 예상을 못했어요.
I did not
그래서
expect to win today.
들어가서 이제 인터뷰 준비하고 있으라고 그래서 장난쳤는데
네.
And after a 2-0, we were
좀 쉽게 이겨서 다행인 것 같고.
just saying that we should get ready for an
너무
interview.
기쁘네요. 지금 첫 경기니까 저희가 1등이거든요.
Feels really happy, and with the first match, we're actually in first place of Korea.
네.
So I'm really, really happy about that as well.
저도 여기 직관에 많이 놀러 왔었는데 그때 많이 맞췄잖아요 우리.
네, 제가 직원이었죠 그때
옵저버로
잠깐.
저기서 제가 또 뭐 하냐고.
And you were the observer back in phase 1. I was asking you all the time.
그때 혹시 옵저버를 했던 이렇게 경기 전력을 만드는데 좀 도움이 되셨나요?
Was all the work from observing all the pros? Do you think it actually helped you
모르겠어요.
becoming a player again?
생각하고 있는 게
I don't actually know.
지금까지 작년에 선수했던 것도 그렇고
From being a player for such a long time,
네.
그 모든 게 다
and also being observer for such a time, I think it helped a lot. Overall, it really helped
네, 도움이 됐다고
to become a player who I am right now to this place.
그러겠죠?
그리고 현재 1등이시다.
And we're right now first place in Korea.
그래서 그 경력직 신입으로서 제가 인상 깊게 봤던 공이 있었어요.
네.
2세트에서
There was a moment when you were playing Phoenix in set number 2.
신열기 이거죠. 레이저.
그쵸. 그게
And
혹시
Planet Cracker, of
경력직
course.
신입만의 어떤 특별한 시각으로 찍은 군인이었나요?
Was it just your solo choice or
저희가
talk
생각했던 조합이
within the
가로시가
teammates?
도발 넘기고
네.
그거에 메디브가 쉴드를 주고 문을 열다고 해도 그 레이저가 다 맞는단 말이에요. 데미지가.
we're expecting
그래서 그걸 생각하고
Garrus to throw up, and even with the portal, I could line up to do the
결과적으로
damage.
좋은 선택이 되었던 것 같아요.
So I think
네.
overall,
그렇죠.
by the result, of
그러면
course,
다음
it was a good
질문,
choice.
이제 마지막이에요. 혹시 다음 상대가 미라클인 거 알고 계시죠?
네.
And next
알고
up, you're
있죠.
going against
그러면
Miracle.
현재 1등인 슈퍼노바 팀의 오더를 맡고 있는 노체스의 어떤 각오 한마디 들어보도록
Let's hear
하겠습니다.
what you have to say
제가
going
이 팀에
against them.
들어와서 뱀픽 오더를 처음 해보거든요.
네.
It is the first time after Blossom for me to actually do shot calling.
그리고
And my
아직
teammates
저희가
are
다
really
많이
following
경험이
me
부족해요.
up so
그래서
well.
앞으로 경기에서 좋은 모습을 보여줄 수도 있지만 안 좋은 모습도 많이 나올
And I
거란
think it's
말이에요.
possible for us to do really well,
그렇게
but still
되더라도
possible
많이
to do
응원해
really
주셨으면
bad as
좋겠어요.
well.
저는 솔직하게 욕먹는 거에 좀 익숙한데
So I do wanna be honest.
처음 올라온 선수들이라
It is our first
많이
time,
그런 거에 힘들어할 것 같아서
and I think it's gonna
네, 많이
take some time to
응원해줬으면
adjust. So just keep on cheering for us, as we're gonna have different games. So
많이 응원해
coming in
주셨으면
the future.
좋겠습니다. 감사합니다. 여기서 인터뷰 마치고 중계로 넘어가도록
there's no chat with
하겠습니다.
high quality audio.
There you go. So that was pretty informative. I think it was a little bit respectful of that team fight where he locked in the Planet Cracker. You know, everything he said was true. You know, you can line the laser up with the portals, but I think she was trying to bait, like, so, like, was this something specifically you had planned, or
was it just
you're just like, okay,
your
they
selfish
messed
choice?
up big time, like, I'm gonna kill them all, because I think that's what it was. It was a
Yes.
good choice for that moment. I mean, that fight was won by them, like, before it even started. Dudu was like he was like back in open division.
Oh
like,
man, I was having doubts about Dudu going in for Frankel spot,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
Frankel having lots of mage, I think it was actually a better fit. He moved in onto other team Gluck now, and Dudu, who has not really been playing mages, has been suffering with the positioning a little bit too much. Actually, getting caught so many times in the beginning. The team fight was already over. It was either Dudu or OJ really getting caught, having the death, making a 4v5.
Yeah, the dynamic is going to be really different on Gluck now with Relic gone and Dudu replacing him, because again, it's like the opposite, right? Relic played Genji almost purely and sometimes burst characters, but not so much, like he'd play the Grey main, for example, but Dudu is very much a slow, sustained damage type
Yes.
player. So the two dynamics of DPS is changing with Relic being banned from HGC and that, his spot being taken by Dudu. Very different players, so it'll take some time to adjust.
Right?
I'm saying Relic being banned, and,
Oh,
and
no,
yeah,
no,
sorry,
yes,
and
yes.
then Frankel taking his place. Yes, sorry, not Dudu.
Yeah, we're getting all mixed up a little bit here,
Yeah.
but all good.
It's going to take some time for me to get back into the zone because I was so focused on the international event and all the international teams to remember like everyone's names here and stuff that we've cast for like 4 years, or I have.
Oh, snitch.
But yeah, so Frankel replacing Relic. Sorry, Dudu, of course, replacing Frankel in this triangle is what I was trying to say. But yeah, again, the kind of swap there is a little bit different. I'm going to get my head on straight. We're going to take a short break, maybe 10 minutes or so. When we come back, we're going to have our second series. We're going to have Hong Kong and Merity back, and they're going to face off against Genji.